All right, welcome in. It is time for another football Saturday. He is Jim Dunaway. I'm Ryan Brown. Lance Taylor joins us now. What is up, everybody? Fired up for another football Saturday?
I am, man. This is a great early window. Yeah.
Yep.
I went to bed at 1 a.m. That's early for me on Friday. Ready to roll.
Lance in bed early last night. Granddad, man. Were the grandkids not over keeping you up?
No, so I just went through a drive-through. I'm not going to say it, but they normally are very efficient, and it took 20 minutes to get through the drive-through.
It's tough life out there, man. Hard knock life out there on the streets, Lance.
Yeah. Well, I tell you,
go ahead.
It feels great out here, though.
Yeah. 7 a.m. for me and little man at the local House of Waffle. And we went in there, and I mixed it up today. I went a little breakfast sandwich instead of my usual eggs and waffles. So I'm revved and ready to go. And I don't have a big board this week. I've got I've got 9 blue plates, paper plates, 9 of them, blue paper plates. I got 9 big plates. They feel like layman plays, though.
Boy, if I was an imaginary friend, I would have wanted to be yours growing up, because you come up with so much weird shit.
Well, I was gonna do my big board again, but I'm out of a black ink cartridge and didn't have time to go get one. So no printer for me.
Hey,
to too much.
By the way, coming off a win last night, we had the under in a really terrible performance by Kansas State. I don't know what they were doing coming out of a bye. They were not prepared. That's not Chris Kleiman like. But I had the under in K-State, Oklahoma State. We got home with that last night. So 1-0, only play on the board. It was absolutely free. Lanceslike.com. 13 plays up, had 11 that I put in, went back through every total on the board last night and came up with 2. I got 2 unders for you. People don't like playing unders, but you know what? Unders can win.
Yeah, especially if you're in College Station today. Just saying, low scoring Bama win today.
You know what? I really did like that under Dunaway. But
until I said it.
No, I mean, I didn't play it, but because I have a side, I stayed away. I hate doing the double dip unless it's like a primetime marquee game.
Yep.
I watched a little bit of Nebraska. I watched Kansas State, Oklahoma State, a little bit of Nebraska, Illinois. That second half of the Nebraska-Illinois game, I love our boy Matt Rule. That was a hard watch right there.
Yeah, you know, I'm credit. I mean, he's 3-3 now, and you know that's a nice win. Illinois obviously has taken a major step back from where they were last year.
Honeymoon over.
But yet I was happy to see that from Matt Rule. I don't know, man. That was a terrible game. You're right.
But those black shirts, man, that Nebraska defense, they got in there and went toe-to-toe with Illinois. I watched every second of that game, cheering on our boys there in Lincoln. And that's sort of next round Midwest. That's our Midwest division there. And I'm all in on the Huskers, and that was a good win for them. They should be 4-2. I thought they should have beat Colorado back in the day. They should be a 4-2 football team. I think he's going to get them to a bowl game. They're gonna ball out here at the end.
You know who's not missing any meals in Champaign, Illinois?
Brett Bielema.
Woo! Big. I mean, big. He was big in Arkansas.
Was it one of you guys that sent me that about him?
No, I was thinking it, though.
Buddy in Colorado, what did he say about Bielema? It looks like Bielema swallowed a VW buzz.
Because it's that little hunchback.
Landmine Believer says if Bama gets by today, they win out until the SEC title game. We got some thoughts coming up on that game. Jimmy Bama. Royal Payne. How crazy does it get with the fans in Fayetteville and Baton Rouge next week if Arkansas and LSU lose today? I also say Lane's under a little pressure to keep it rolling. Those are both possible, by the way.
I've got a play in that LSU Missouri game. Yep. Early on 11 o'clock. Again, if you would have told me rolling into the first full weekend of October that one of those teams was 3-2 and one was 5-0, and the 5-0 was Missouri, I mean, I would be floored.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how LSU handles all this. This is the first week that they've heard a lot of negativity. You know, it was one thing with Florida State in that second half. You know, we did point this out, though, after that game, how they looked to quit in the second half.
Right.
And now, after that defense really failing them against Ole Miss, I really wonder where LSU is as a team. This will be a big test for them today.
It will be, but even if the if the defense even plays bad again today, how many points can LSU score against Missouri, and can Missouri match that even if the same LSU defense shows up today? Luther Burden is really, really good, but I don't know if they have enough other playmakers to stress out the LSU defense. I think Harold Perkins can get to Brady Cook enough that LSU will win this football game today.
You can play that one at mybookie.ag, code next round, mybookie.ag, code next round. Back with that 110% sign-on bonus, free money from mybookie.ag. And Lance does have a play on that game at lanceslock.com. LSU this morning at MyBookie, favorite 5.5 with a total of 64.5 in Columbia, 11 a.m. ESPN kick straight out of game day for that one. Johnston RV Center brings you the show. Johnston RV Center is right there on I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. And you can also find them online, johnstonrvcenter.com. That is johnstonrvcenter.com. Cherokee, the number one selling brand in America of RV. They are the best dealer in Alabama for it, starting as low as $199 a month at Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Also, champyschicken.com. Josh says, Lance, not giving anything away. 2 of your picks, you have a unit recommendation. But 2 of your picks don't have a unit recommendation. I'm sorry. Is that the over-unders?
No, there's more than 13 plays. I will tell you right now.
I think what he's saying is
he on his website. He's a Lance Lock subscriber, and he's saying looking on the website, 2 of them does not show which unit to play.
No, there's. I'll tell you right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 7 that are just 1 unit. If there's not a unit next to it, if it's not a 2, 3, 4, 5,
okay,
then it's just a regular play. So more than half are just regular plays.
So if it doesn't say 2 unit, 3 unit, etc., it's a 1 unit play.
Yeah, I got a text from our buddy Ian Fitzsimmons, and he said, "Boy, tough card today." And I said, "Says you." Like 13 winners. I feel good about today's card. You know, I don't know if people have noticed this. I don't really remember the last losing Saturday we've had.
Look, I got a stack of plates, LT. Me too, man. Me too.
Dude, you guys know I do. I take a lot of pride in this. I mean, I know people should do this for enjoyment. I mean, this is an entertainment thing. It shouldn't be, hey, I'm going to go make money. I've got to pay my mortgage this month. I got to pay my rent this month. It's not about that. It's about sitting back, watching a great game, having a little fun, and just having a little action, a little side action in it. But with all that said, I know it's people's money. I know they work hard for it. I take a lot of pride in us winning and making your Saturdays and Sundays better.
All right, Texas, Oklahoma playing in the Red River Shootout. Texas a 5.5-point favorite, Oklahoma, and Texas at 60.5 in the total there, Dunaway. 11 o'clock ABC, one of the great rivalries in college football coming to the SEC. You got a plate on that one, a blue plate.
Yeah, my blue plate is hook 'em. I like giving the points here all day long with Texas. They're the better team. To me, they're the number 1 team in the country right now, bar none. And I don't think Oklahoma's been tested. LT, it'll be this great defensive line. And then those receivers, again, going into the Alabama game, the defensive line surprised me. The receivers did not. They're the best receiving unit in the country, even better than Columbus now.
It's hard to believe. This is only the 3rd time in this rivalry's history that both these teams are 5-0 coming into it. It last happened in 2002 and 2008. And this Texas defense, they've only allowed 64 points. That's the fewest they've allowed through 5 games since 2008. It's legitimate. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think you start to talk to guys around that Alabama program, and Texas is already SEC ready. You know, we wondered if it going to take that 1 year, 2 years to really get acclimated. They're already there. They've already rolled up into Bryant-Denny this year, a year before. They took care of business. And I just don't know about Oklahoma. Oklahoma, the numbers are there. They're averaging 48 points per game. That's 3rd in the FBS. The defense has been fantastic. You've got a veteran quarterback that's got 110 career touchdowns in Dylan Gabriel. But the one time they saw a semblance of a defense against Cincinnati, they only scored 20 points. And this is one of those games Quinn Ewers seems to – he can kind of drift when he's playing down competition.
Right.
This is such an amped-up environment where Texas knows – that everything is in front of them. And if they win this game, schedule really opens up. And I still think they can afford a loss. Our boy Chip Brown disagreed with me. He's like, you really think a 1-loss Big 12 champion can get in?
Oh, yeah.
I said, if it's Texas, the Texas brand winning on the road, I said, you know, they could lose one of these games to K-State or Kansas or Oklahoma State. and I still think they can get there.
Yeah, they got that big win. Here's the hook 'em blue plate. Boom. Book that one. Hook 'em, Texas.
Hook 'em. Real quick, Lance, and you may need to think on this for a second. I'm trying to find
I don't. I think I know where you're about to go.
the 11 a.m. parlay, a game you cut.
Yeah.
You got one? You won't think on it?
No, I can throw it out there. I mean,
all right, so these are games Lance cut. They are not at lanceslock.com. Historically, Lance does not like playing 11 a.m. games. He does have one up at lanceslock.com this morning, and the LSU Missouri game. So you get a play on that at lanceslock.com coming up. But that's the only 11 o'clock he played. So a lot of times he's like, hey, look, I don't play 11 o'clock games, but if I did, I really like these.
Yeah. No, I did play one, and I've slid one in pretty much every week this year. And we've done pretty good at 11 o'clock so far, and I feel good about this 11 o'clock LSU Missouri game. Mississippi State, Will Rogers, for whatever reason, we talked about our kryptonite on 4 Downs earlier this week. His kryptonite is Alabama.
Right.
And they're trying to figure out their offensive identity right now. I think they're frustrated. And I love me some Lance Taylor, not me, the head coach of Western Michigan, but that is a bad defense. And I think they will do everything they can to get that offensive rhythm going back. And they also know that Will Rogers has an opportunity to break that record this year. I think he throws for 400 plus. I think they wipe out Western Michigan. That's an easy favorite for me at 11 o'clock. I also agree with Dunaway. I think Texas, just personnel-wise, is too much for Oklahoma. I think the numbers are low. And people would say, well, Oklahoma's ranked and they're averaging 48 points per game. And they got a veteran quarterback and all that stuff. Still under a touchdown, you're getting value there. And then Ohio State will completely walk Maryland off the field. Ohio State 8-0 all time against Maryland. They've averaged over 57 points per game in that. And this is the same old Maryland. Mike Loxley and Tua Light, they'll roll out and they'll beat the teams they should beat. And when they get to a point where they're supposed to be the big boy, everybody's talking about they're 5-0, they should be ranked. They're about to get run off the field. We call that the old dick whipping.
That's what you call it. Ohio,
there
you go. 3 of them. Ohio State favored 19 this morning at mybookie.ag, a total of 56. And the big noon kick with Klatt and Gus on that one.
I thought I had Ohio State somewhere.
Do you? Is it on one of your plates?
It's not on one of my plates, though.
Well, add a plate.
Hey, man, I want to go to Paul's house, man. Today will be the first chili being made of the season, plus Kaneka dogs. Kaneka chili dogs. I've never done that combination. That sounds incredible, though.
Yeah, there's what Paul says. Yes. And then Troy says, you know what? I didn't have chili in the plans, but I do now. I feel like cool.
I did it Monday night, but it feels awesome. I think it's like 60 right now.
Yes, it does feel good. I walked out earlier this morning. Feels like fall.
Hey, and leaves are falling. I mean, I've got a little foliage going.
Yeah, time for the leaf blower.
Wow,
hey,
don't say that. Jeez.
Don't forget mybookie.ag, code next round. Mybookie.ag, code next round today. And all weekend long, next round, that code gets you the 110% sign-on bonus. You make a deposit. They give you 110% of the deposit. That is free money. Play with it, win with it right away. Mybookie.ag, code next round. Mybookie.ag, code next round. Good play with Lance's locks. What you got right there? What are you showing?
So I got my sheet. This is pretty awesome. Yeah, this is the sheet he does for us. It's laid up on our desk every Monday morning. Not only does it have all the highlighted really good games, but he has put this new feature in with the television. And these games I've got circled, all 13 of your plays today at lanceslog.com are available on all of these channels.
Wow.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, good work out of Dunaway.
Yeah.
Johnston RV Center brings you the show. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. Cherokee starting as low as $199 a month. That is the #1 selling brand in America. They do it right at Johnston RV Center. And not too late, Dunaway, to get that tailgate at Champy.
That's right. JohnstonRVCenter.com is awesome. So, too, our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling is down there getting ready to cook up the chicken all day long on this football Saturday. You can go there and watch the games today or tonight, lunch throughout the week, dinner, date nights, whatever you want to do. But those tailgate packages, you can't beat those as well. Champy'sChicken.com to get the menu. Highway 119 for over a decade. It's Sterling's place, Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken.
LT, you have a play on this one. I'll let you go first here. UCLA is at home in the Rose Bowl on the Pac-12 Network. They are favored 3.5 over Washington State, a total of 60.5 in this game.
Yeah, well, look, Washington State's been a great story, and they're playing pissed off football. Them and Oregon State both. I mean, those are two really, really good teams, and that was a great game earlier this year in Pullman. I think if they played it again, I think Oregon State's a better team. But Cam Ward is playing lights out. I brought this up yesterday on the next round. He's got almost 1,400 passing yards, 0 interceptions. That's the fourth most by a player in their first 4 games in the last 20 years. So Cam Ward. And, people in Pullman are pointing it out. He should be in the Heisman conversation. This is one of those games, if they're able to roll into the Rose Bowl, I know it's not a great atmosphere as far as like a volatile atmosphere, but if they win that game, you really, really have to put the Pac-12 on alert. That's a tough road game for Washington State. Unfortunately, most people won't be able to see it. I'll have it on Uzi on the Pac-12. That's a weird 2 o'clock kick, but, man, that's a fun game. And, I'm pulling quietly like – this isn't going to give away the play because I'm going against my Rams, but I'm quietly pulled for Washington State this year because I love the big FU they're giving all of these other Power 5 conferences.
Yep. For me, it is another plate play on the blue plate. I'm going to take UCLA. I'm going to give the points because of the stat I brought up this week. Their defense, UCLA's defense is underrated. Cam Ward putting up tremendous numbers, but number 1 in the nation right now in yards per play is UCLA at just under 4 yards a play, 3.75, I believe. UCLA defense, just good enough. Dante's getting a little bit better as the Inferno quarterback for the Bruins. I like UCLA in a close one to cover the 3.5.
Well, let me say this about UCLA. I will point out the fact they have not played a semblance of an offense. So I know those defensive numbers are there. You can't discount that. But, when they played Utah, I mean, 7 of the 14 that won the game for Utah were a first play from scrimmage pick 6.
Yeah. Was there didn't they play like Central Connecticut or somebody like that? I mean, that was a challenge, LT. I mean, when UCLA and Central Connecticut get together.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a sec what that schedule. I mean, it's kind of an embarrassing schedule. So Wordle, do you guys ever play Wordle?
No, I do not.
They have a football team? They were on UCLA's schedule?
No, but I was doing this when I was going through that drive-through that took forever today. But the word, well, I'm not going to give the word today because somebody might be watching. But I was going to ask you guys if you've ever even used this word in a sentence. Sometimes they just throw stuff out. Like there's been like 5 or 6 of the 200 times I've played that I've never even heard or anybody used the word. And the reason I bring that up is because I was popping up UCLA schedule, but it went to Wordle because I just got done.
Let's move to the 2:30 window CBS. Lance has a play on this one as well. So, Lance, you'll go first here. Texas A&M playing host to Alabama. It was a pick at 10 o'clock yesterday when Furman was on with us. And an hour and a half, it went all the way up to Alabama favored 2.5. This morning, as we speak, mybookie.ag has Alabama favored 2, a total of 46, 2:30 CBS. One of the best games of the day.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting from this aspect. I was on with Mick Gillespie on his show last night. He was doing it from the floor of Bama. Made me so jealous. He had one of our bushwhackers. He was there with our girl, Jennifer Pornell. And it seemed like in the conversation we were having, he thinks there's really something to this line movement in Jalen Milroe. Now, we've all been told that Milroe's fine and he's going to be playing today. But it would be really interesting if at 2:30, they're like, Ty Simpson's getting the start today.
Oof.
Then I think all bets are off, and I think things can get get ugly at Cal Station or Cal Field. Here's the thing: A&M's defense is so good at just dominating up front, and to have back-to-back 15-plus tackles for losses in games, which they do right now, I just don't know if Alabama's offensive line can hold up. I think it's going to be interesting. You've got 2 quarterbacks that, well, I can't say Max Johnston doesn't have a lot of experience. I mean, hell, he's been playing for 4 years. But 2 quarterbacks that can put you in bad situations. 2 quarterbacks that can be really good when they're good. But I'm really interested to see, the squeeze, which one of these guys the pressure gets to more.
Yeah, I would say, though, on the tackles for loss and the sacks, they have been tremendous. They've come against Auburn and against Arkansas. And Roman Harper on our show explained to you what Arkansas strategically and schematically did wrong that benefited Texas A&M's defensive line on getting pressure on KJ Jefferson. And you got to think Alabama will learn from that and not make the same mistake. And then Peyton Thorne, Hugh Freeze said it, but dude's holding the football too long back in that Texas A&M game. and they were not the same team that had a different approach against Georgia. So I would tread lightly on those numbers. Miami took them to the woodshed, that same defense, and I like Alabama. Minus the 2 on another blue plate there. Minus the 2.
Blue plate. Hey, by the way, Deontay Lawson, multiple reports, including ESPN's Chris Lowe, that he will play today for Alabama. So that is a big player to get back for the Tide.
I was told he was not even practicing with a black jersey all week long. Wow. That he was full go. Just didn't want to get that out there until it was broken by somebody else. But there you go. And well, I mean, I don't want to break news and it not be correct because I didn't see it with my own eyes. You know what I mean? Okay. But somebody had told me, hey, Deontay Lawson, not even a black jersey. So there you go.
Real quick, UCLA, Coastal Carolina. They're awful this year. Don't know what's happened to Grayson McCall. There's a reason people didn't go out and get him in the portal. San Diego State, always offensively challenged. North Carolina Central, and then Utah with a backup quarterback.
North Carolina Central. Wow.
These numbers are really, really inflated from UCLA.
Yep. Go to Texas A&M sack and tackle for loss numbers the last 2 weeks.
Brett asked Dunaway where you got that hat. Where'd you get that hat, Jimmy?
This is from a friend of mine. Let's see if I can. University Traditions.
University Traditions. All right. Troy, LT, quarterback wide receiver combo. You think might go off on daily fantasy today? You got one?
Well, I mean, I know one that will go off, but it might be the price you might be priced out. Yeah. But Caleb Williams and Brennan Rice. Brennan Rice, Jerry's son, is making big plays. He's not the guy that everybody thought it was going to be Dorian Singer, the Arizona transfer. But Brennan Rice has been the big play guy for that USC offense. I mean, they've got so many weapons, but I think Brennan Rice against this Arizona defense will show up. I could see him go 200-plus yards himself, and Caleb will continue to put up ridiculous numbers.
Okay.
But I'll give you another off the beaten path here in a sec that maybe he can't afford.
All right, let's go to the night slate. Kentucky is at Georgia. Bulldogs. Lance has a play on this one, Dunaway. Bulldogs 14.5-point favorite, total of 47. 6 o'clock ESPN.
Yeah, another blue plate game for me, LT. I go Dogs. Dogs big today. They this team will not stress them like Auburn stressed them because the quarterback Leary is not running the ball the same way Peyton Thorne is. I like Georgia big in this one.
Look, I mean, Georgia's won 13 consecutive against Kentucky. I mean, this is Mark Stoops' kryptonite. They just don't even show up in these games typically. The last 6 have been by double digits. Brock Bowers has bailed out this offense. You know, when you suddenly look, though, at Carson Beck, he's played good football. Like, the numbers are there. He doesn't have a lot of weapons. Ladd McConkey coming back last week should be at full go this week. I think that will help. And, you know, Kentucky has played the second easiest schedule behind only Wake Forest up until this point. So who have the Cats beaten?
Yeah, they're even a better schedule than UCLA you just mentioned.
I mean, it's the second easiest schedule. I mean, according to all the analytics.
Wow.
Hey, but they're 5-0 for the third time in the last 6 years. I mean, again, Mark Stoops just quietly does an incredible job. He knows what the number is here. So one thing you got to be afraid of, if you have Georgia and they're up 21 late, he'll be pressing the pedal. He'll be calling them timeouts, trying to get in and try to backdoor you.
All right, let's move on to Notre Dame, Louisville, Dunaway. Another game. Lance has a play. I was noticing this from Lance's plays. When the sun sets, Lance'sLock.com gets going tonight. A lot of night games. Notre Dame at Louisville, Dunaway. Notre Dame favored 6.5. 53.5 is the total in this one. 6:30 ABC game. Dunaway's got a blue plate on it.
Yeah, I take the Irish in this one. I'm so impressed with the Irish defense, LT, and they can run it, and they've got the better quarterback in this game. Louisville, they've got some nice wins, but they played 3 games close against teams like Georgia Tech and NC State and Indiana. Different animal today. Irish running empty, long stretch. You guys always point that out. 7 straight games, but I like this Irish team today in Louisville.
You know, I think it's a tough game for Notre Dame just based on this. I think Louisville is overrated. They haven't played anybody. We talked about their schedule going into the season. One of the reasons they could be in the spot they're in right now. But Notre Dame, after the emotional loss to Ohio State on that final play, after finding a way to convert 4th and 16 and winning that game in the final minute against Duke, emotionally, this team could be drained. Now, when you see teams go on championship runs, those are the kind of games they go through. So this will be a test. I mean, I guess it's not Papa John Stadium anymore. What is it in Louisville?
Is it not Papa John's Stadium?
No, they've got a corporate name, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the people that own KFC. It's not Yum though. Is it Yum Stadium?
No, that's
Nope.
the basketball arena.
Yeah, it's basketball. I don't know, man. You know, I never thought old Papa John would get canceled. He did. Names off the stadium, but I still think the atmosphere is going to be electric.
Yeah. Arkansas, Ole Miss. No play here from Lance at lanceslight.com. So, LT, Ole Miss, a 13-point favorite in this one, total of 61.5.
Yeah, you know, I took a look at this. I mean, these two teams, did you realize even before they were in the SEC, these two teams have played every year since 1981? I've never noticed that.
I did not know that. Is that true? Huh?
Yeah. They've played every season since 1981. Home teams won the past 4 meetings. And you look at KJ Jefferson, 626 yards the past 2 seasons against Ole Miss and 9 touchdowns. The game 2 years ago that was going on at the exact same time as Caleb Williams bringing Oklahoma back against Texas, that was just a fantastic game. And it came down to a 2-point conversion. This Ole Miss team, I haven't figured them out yet. They seem Jekyll and Hyde-ish, but boy, their offense looked great last week. I don't know, man. I leaned playing Ole Miss in this one, but I just stayed away from it.
I do not have a play on it either. Of course, I'm not the professional. Get the real plays at lanceslock.com. I will tell you this, though. An Ole Miss win today shows a little maturity. Have a great week last week and back that up in a challenging game against a desperate Arkansas team who, with KJ Jefferson, this thing's starting to slip away from them with a veteran quarterback. Not a good look last week for Sam Pittman's team. Really, A&M beat them worse than the score indicated, I thought. So it's a big game. I don't know how it's going to turn out either, but it's a huge maturity game for Ole Miss. If they win this one, that 9-win stake bet season for me looks like it's coming right down the aisle for old Lane Kiffin there.
Fox has a prime game. I mentioned when the sun sets, lanceslight.com gets rocking. He's going to have plays on every game I'm about to ask you about here, Dunaway. Fresno State at Wyoming. Sneaky good game. Fox. Fresno State favored 6 on the road in Laramie, a total of 43 in this one.
Yeah. You know, Lance, we pointed this out on the next round as well this week. Both years, last year, these two teams played. Fresno State has shut them out both years. So the last 2 contests, Wyoming hasn't even scored a point, not 1 point.
No, and look, and Fresno's really good again. But Wyoming, their one loss at Texas. They beat Texas Tech at home, down 17 points in that game, able to come back and win. 2 really, really good veteran coaches in Jeff Tedford and Craig Bull. This will be a fun game to watch. Any chance we get snow in October, early snow?
I'll check. Late night Cheyenne, you never know. There will be no snow in Waco, Lance. Texas Tech, a 1.5-point favorite on the highway there in Baylor, in Waco playing Baylor. 59.5 the total for the 7 o'clock ESPN2 kick.
Yeah, you know, I took a look at this, and I ultimately pulled it late. Oh, I did play this. Yeah.
No, you played it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have the total on this. Blake Shapen back in the lineup has been the difference. You know, Baylor, how they came back and won that game was over. I mean, literally, if you are Central Florida, all you have to do is run clock and the game is over. I don't know what Gus Malzahn was doing. That is a big, big momentum shift for Dave Aranda and that Baylor team. So I think they'll come out and play great football. Texas Tech and Joey McGuire, this has been one of the biggest, and a lot of people that aren't diehard college football fans don't realize this. They are one of the biggest disappointments in college football this year.
Yeah, we were expecting so much out of Texas Tech as a sexy offseason pick to be in the Big 12 championship game. Baylor coming back to beat UCF, like you said, 35-7 to win that thing 36-35. Totally surprising. Even more surprising is that's when UCF chose to make the announcement, hey, we're going to give Gus Malzahn a contract extension.
Yeah.
They saved it. They worked it out back in the summer. They saved to announce it right at a certain point during the year, and they chose after he blew a 35-7 lead. I don't know how this one plays out either, Texas Tech and Baylor, but Shapen coming back has helped that offense look a little bit better. Maybe Dave Aranda can get the defense dialed in. It hasn't been. Had 35 points to UCF last week.
Well, but because we bring up UCF, I mean, and Troy was asking for a fantasy, I think John Rice Plumlee's going to play. He's got a brace on the leg. It's going to be a game-time decision against Kansas, but I think he'll have a big game. So John Rice Plumlee, Javon Baker, that would be a good price point duo you can get right now in fantasy.
Yeah, and by the way, that's a surprising little number. I mean, Kansas coming off the loss to Texas. That's a surprising number because UCF hasn't won a Big 12 game yet.
Well, and the reason that number, Kansas and Lance Leopold, and this was interesting talking to our friend Brock Hewitt from Fox on Unlocked. He said if you ask 120 coaches right now, their top 5 most difficult offenses to prepare for, he said all 120, 130 would say Lance Leopold. But Jalen Daniels not playing is going to be a huge factor. That offense just isn't the same without Jalen Daniels.
All right, 2 late-night Pac-12 games. Reminder, Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. Number 1 selling brand in America is Cherokee. You get them as low as $199 a month, starting at $199 a month there at Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. And also, Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Dunaway.
That's right. Unbelievable fried chicken. It's brined overnight, cooked to order when you go in there. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, hand-cut chicken fingers, great sides, and just a wonderful package to take to a tailgate or take back home to watch football all day long. Champy'sChicken.com, the website to check out the menu. Sterling owns the one in Alabaster on 119 for over a decade. It is fantastic. Stop by and see him.
All right, Lance, Oregon State is at Cal. Uzi for this one on the Pac-12 Network. Oregon State favored 7.5, total of 51 there in Berkeley.
Man, Oregon State is a good football team. Cal's better than advertised, though. You know, we saw one of the yuckiest games of the year. I don't know if you guys agree, but that was probably the worst game I've seen played out by 2 offenses this year.
Auburn and Cal?
Yeah, but I think Cal can yuck it up, especially against DJ, who hasn't played great for Oregon State. They've got a great offensive line. They've got really good running backs led by Damian Martinez, and they're well coached. I still think Justin Wilcox is a little underrated, just doesn't have a lot of talent there at Cal. This game could be better than people think, though.
It was my upset alert back on Tuesday, and I'm going to ride with it. I call it was 9.5 back on Tuesday. It's down to 7.5 this morning, LT. What does that tell you?
That tells you there's a lot of what we call sharp, smart money on the Cal Bears.
Yeah, so Cal is where I played it back on Tuesday in our upset alert. Brown Bandit went after me. I don't know what he picked. I can't remember, but Cal was my pick.
You don't remember the Brown Bandit pick?
Right now, no. I always remember the show. I don't remember the dough.
Arizona USC, late night, 9:30 ESPN. Arizona favored 3 touchdowns in this one and a big old total of 71.5.
Hey, there's only been one quarterback in the last 25 years to throw six touchdown passes in a game for multiple schools. That quarterback, Caleb Williams.
Hey.
Wow. This guy is he's incredible. And 24 touchdowns this year, only 1 turnover. They've scored 268 points through their first 5 games. That's the most in USC history. We remember some really good USC offenses back in the early 2000s. This is a great offense. It's a shaky-ass defense. Arizona's a team that can score points, but USC, over the last couple of years, really good at forcing turnovers. Arizona turns the football over a lot.
Yeah, I will tell you, this USC – Caleb Williams, I know statistically it may not match this. I think he's actually having a better year this year than he did last year.
Yeah, he's a better quarterback right now. At the beginning of the season, he looked a step slow, but he looks like he's got the swagger back. I agree. I think he's playing better football this year.
And his arm strength and the way he throws it is, I mean, really, to me, it is. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the way I watch him play, the way he maneuvers in the pocket, and moves, and can throw off different platforms with different arm angles.
More physical Mahomes.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a guy that, you know, sometimes we're sitting here, these guys who are going first, second, third overall in the draft. I don't think they can be NFL quarterbacks. This guy, I mean, I would take him right now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No disrespect to Baker.
MyBookie.ag, code next round, 110% sign-on bonus. You make that initial deposit, they give you 110% of it. So that is free money to play with your plays from lanceslog.com. A ton of plays up. Did you do any baseball, Lance? I only got your football plays. Do you have any baseball up at lanceslog.com?
You know, I was going to go back and look at some baseball. I just, on these Saturdays, it's tough to do. I know it's postseason baseball. And
well, Let's just real quick thought. Let's go rapid fire.
Some big numbers out there today.
Let's go rapid fire on these for both of you. 12 o'clock FS1, Baltimore -151, Texas +123. Start with you, Lance.
Texas' offense has been great. Dunaway got to see this against his Rays. Corey Seager, I still don't know how the Dodgers ever gave him up. Rangers playing great baseball. Nobody's going to – this series price is underinflated because nobody still understands how Baltimore is this good, being the first team in Major League history to go from 110 losses in 2 seasons to 100 wins. Baltimore is really good, but Texas' offense might be too much.
I think Texas wins the series. Baltimore could win the day, but Texas wins the series.
Minnesota Dunaway at Houston, 345 FS1. Houston a -158 favorite in this one today.
Astros win the series. I don't know about today. If Minnesota doesn't win today, it'll be a long. Remember, these are best of 5 series, so losing game 1 is put you behind the 8 ball. It's like being down 2-0 in a best of 7.
Yeah, look, I hate the Astros. I think everybody hates the Astros except Astro fans, and I can't believe they're in this situation again, winning the AL West. I got a weird feeling about the Twins. They got over that hump, winning their first postseason game in 18 years. They're playing with a lot of confidence. Everybody in that lineup has a little bit of power, and they've got really good starting pitching right now. So I kind of like the Twins here.
Biggest favorite on the board today, the Braves -212, 5 o'clock TBS, Philadelphia +169. We know where Dunaway is on this one, LT.
I was in a sports book last night with our boy Jimmy Anthony, and he had a Auburn sombrero on. It was one of the weirdest dreams ever. And I went to the window to play the Braves today. I've told you guys that I like the Phillies in this series, but I think the Braves minus the 200. If they don't get this, Braves are done. Big game for the Braves.
Strider tonight, Dunaway. Strider. You like them, right? You're
chopping, sweeping, sliding with Strider.
Yep. Finally, Dunaway. Kershaw on the mound for the Dodgers. Second biggest favorite of the day, 204. They are -204, 820 TBS. Game 1 against Arizona.
Yeah. Arizona was really they outclassed in their last series. The Dodgers lineup is still good. The pitching is suspect, but I don't think Arizona is good enough to make this work another series. Dodgers win the series. I don't know about get one single game, but the Dodgers win the series.
Buster Olney on yesterday said, I haven't spent a lot of time with the Diamondbacks. I don't know what their clubhouse is like, but he was talking about great chemistry in clubhouses. He said the Dodgers are one of those. I do think the Dodgers, they got the best of the Diamondbacks in the regular season. I've got 2 Velociraptors out here, brother.
I can hear that.
Yeah. But I do like the Dodgers in this series. Diamondbacks are playing with a ton of confidence, man. They're athletic.
Yep.
All right, real quick, Dunaway. David wants a list of the games. While I do some business here, throw up your blue plates as we go through this.
3 we have not. 3 we did not get to. I like Michigan minus the 19. The Big House Roadshow today as they go. Michigan is so good. I like the Clones, Iowa State at home against TCU. I liked Iowa State in that one, and I like. I think this was the Brown Bandit. I like Marshall today going against NC State's new starting quarterback plus the 6.5. The other ones were Cal, Alabama, the Dogs, the Irish, UCLA, and Hook 'em Horns. You stack them up like this, and you got a bunch of winners.
Bunch of winners on the blue plate. Lance, how many plays you got up at lanceslock.com?
We've got 13. So jump on board. Coming off a win last night. Great weekend last weekend. We've got a 5-unit play out there that goes off after this morning window. So jump on board. Win with us. It's only $100 per month. You can try us for a weekend, see what you think. Already working on the NFL. It's going to be kind of a light card tomorrow, I think, in the NFL, but already started working on that yesterday.
I'm 16 and 8 against 16 and 18 against the spread. Why would you not want to play?
Why would you down?
I mean, 16 and 18.
All those at lanceslock.com, mybookie.ag to play them. Mybookie.ag code next round for that 110% sign-on bonus. You make your first deposit, they give you 110% bonus, free money to play right away. Win once, and it is yours forever at mybookie.ag. That's with code next round. mybookie.ag code next round. Thank you to Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and online johnstonrvcenter.com. Thank you to Champy's world famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and get that great food for your college football Saturday today. We'll be back with you right after Bama, Texas A&M, right, Dunaway? Right after Bama, Texas.
Right. I mean, give us, a couple of minutes to, watch everybody get off the field safely. And then we'll talk about Alabama, Texas A&M immediately after that before the night games kick off.
Right after Bama, Texas A&M. That is when you will see us next. Enjoy your college football Saturday. Thank you for joining us on the Johnston RV Center Saturday preview presented